The big story in the offseason, I think, is going to be Shohei Ohtani.
It's not about the money for this guy.
He throws 100 miles per hour. He hits bombs, 48 of them last year.
Can he do both? Can he do one exceptionally? Is he going to relieve? Is he going to start? Is he going to be a DH? Is he going to play the field?
Shohei Ohtani is the big story on this day in Major League Baseball.
Shohei Ohtani, two-way player, top slugger in Japanese baseball, one of the outstanding pitchers, now going to the Los Angeles Angels.
Hi, my name is Shohei Ohtani.
Welcome to Quick Pitch, presented by Degree. I'm Kelly Nash, and Mike Trout says he's going to wow us. He's talking about his new teammate, Shohei Ohtani, the one who allowed 9 runs in fewer than 3 official Cactus League innings. That's an ERA of 27, if you were wondering. But let's cut the guy some slack here. The American game is different, and the so-called Babe Ruth of Japan deserves some time to acclimate. And it looks like he's adjusted at the plate just fine, even hitting a single in his very first MLB at-bat. And now our eyes shift to his arm, as his first attempt of a two-way career began on Sunday with his pitching debut.
It's the bottom of the first at the Coliseum with no scores. Shohei Ohtani, it's all about putting spring training aside, forget what happened down in Arizona, and just take care of business going forward. First pitch is in there for a strike at 96.
The first pitch he saw as a batter, base hit. First pitch he throws as a pitcher, a strike, and he's going to throw that baseball out.
Down goes Simeon, one down.
First punch out on a splitter.
3-2. It's popped up left side. Maldonado near the dugout on the deck circle, makes the catch. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Olsen.
Forget about the spring training numbers. He works at 1-2-3, bottom of the first in his major league pitching debut.
In 1-0 Halos here in the second.
Marte, who's looking for his first hit, and a hit here could mean another run, and he lines one into left field. That's going to drop in, and that will mean another run.
Well, now he's got himself a 2-0 lead as we begin the second.
1 out, 2 on.
Down toward left center field, towering shot. Trout racing back near the wall, and that one is gone. A 3-run home run by Matt Chapman, and the Oakland A's have taken a 3-2 lead.
You can almost guarantee Mike Scioscia's telling him right now, we're going to score you some runs. Just forget about that one. Move forward, put up some zeros. We'll win this game.
Now runners at first and third for Trout.
That is ripped down a left field line. That'll head toward the corner. This game is tied. Trout in at second with an RBI double. It's a 3-3 game.
Upton hits a drive to center. Powell going back. Powell turns around in front of the wall. He's got it. Maldonado comes in to score. Trout goes to third, and the Angels have taken a 4-3 lead.
So far in this unbelievable, crazy atmosphere, Shohei Ohtani has been shining.
Chopper off the plate towards second. Andrelton's got it. 1 down.
Good pitch there from Shohei.
The set, and he deals, and Matt hits it down the left field line, slicing Upton in pursuit, has a play, and crossing the foul line. He's there, and he makes the catch, and quickly 2 away.
What was impressive to me, he finished off in the 6th inning, a really good hard split finger, followed up with a nice hard tight slider right here, and he gets the last out of the 6th inning, gets Chris Davis to pop up. 6 innings, 3 runs, all courtesy of the Chapman 3-run home run. As advertised, I thought it was a rock-solid outing.
LA wins it 7-4. 6 different Angels drive in a run as the Halos win their 3rd straight. And what a week for Shohei Ohtani. Just days after recording his first Major League hit, he now has his first Major League win. After the game, here's what he told reporters about his first outing on a big league mound.
いやすごい嬉しいですし、何より勝ててチームが勝ってよかったなと思ってます。
Obviously, I'm very happy, satisfied with my outing, but more than that, I'm happy the team got the victory.
Any nerves? Any first game in America, first real game? Nervous?
緊張もしてましたし、ワクワクもしてましたし、どっちもしてたかなと思います。
It's both excited and nervous, both feelings.
Yankees taking on the Blue Jays in Toronto. Aaron Judge in search of his first home run this season. Still looking to find his stroke, though. But it was his glove that shined on Sunday.
Runners again at first and second for Toronto. We're scoreless in the second.
Now to bring up Gift and Gope. Through the hole on the right side of base hit. Charging is Judge. He comes up throwing. Here's Martin. Here's the play at the plate. He's out.
Accuracy and arm strength, a little bit of a short hop at the end. So give Bromine a lot of credit. 2 outs now. Runners still at the corners. There's a base hit to right. Pilar will come in to score. Devin Travis drives in the first run of the ball game.
And here's Didi. He struck out his first time. And the 1-1 swung on a line, toward the gap in left center field. That allows Stanton to come around third and score easily to tie the game.
Neil Walker, the first baseman. Breaking ball, base hit through the left side. And Neil Walker has given the Yankees a 2-1 lead with his first RBI.
We have a feeling that Drury is really going to hit for the Yankees this year. Swung on and drilled to deep left center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. His first Yankee home run. A 2-run blast to left center. Aaron's the judge, but Brandon's the jury.
That is a real hanger, and Drury takes advantage.
Smoke a strikeout, a walk, and a base hit. Smoke with a drive to straightaway center field. Gardner going back, turns around, he looks up, and it's gone! That ball was smoked.
Well, if the Blue Jays have the right man at the right spot, this might be the guy coming up right here, Josh Donaldson.
And Donaldson does have numbers against Robertson. They're going to walk him. 3 for 8, 2 homers and 5 ribbies, so they will go against Smoke with the bases loaded.
Smoke's only grand slam came against the Yankees in New York. Ball to center. Gardner looking up. Get out, ball! Get out of here! Grand slam home run!
That ball kept carrying and carrying right out of here.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, trying to finish it off. The 2-2 in the air, high and deep, left center field, playable. Pilar underneath it, makes the catch to finish the game.
Toronto wins it 7-4. Justin Smoke matches a career high with 6 RBIs as the Blue Jays are in a split of the 4-game set. Toronto scored 15 runs in the series, and 11 of them came against the Yankees bullpen. To the Twins, Orioles now, top of the first, no score. Kevin Gausman facing Brian Dozier, who does not wait around. Gets into the first pitch of the game. Always making it look so effortless, right? First of the season, 1-0 Twins. We go to the top of the third now. 4-0 Twins. Miguel Sano at bat. And this is what 93 miles per hour coming in looks like, and 110 leaving the bat. Working out that oppo power as well. 5-0 Twins. Later in the inning, Eduardo Escobar would muscle up on one as well, to the tune of 427 feet. 6-0 Twins. It is only the 3rd inning. Top of the 6th now. Same score. And apparently, solo homers were the name of their game in this one. Dozier finding those left field seats yet again. 7-0 Twins. And their starter, Jose Barrios, must be loving this kind of run support. Now, in 2017, Barrios was much better at home than on the road, but new season, new slate, guys. On Sunday, he'd use the defensive shifts to his advantage out there in Camden. Gets Jonathan Scope to ground out to short. Then the second, Adam Jones up. He hits a grounder up the middle. But second baseman Dozier, yeah, he's right there. All over that. In the 6th, Chris Davis grounds right into the shift. Barrios, he's just cruising. In Baltimore, too, that place can be a pitcher's nightmare. Bottom of the 9th, Twins shifting again, but rookie Chance Sisco took advantage of it, bunting against the shift for a base hit. It was the Orioles' 2nd hit of the game, and it earned Sisco an ovation. You hear him from the fans. They loved him bunting against the shift. Later in the inning, though, bases would be loaded for Jones, who strikes out swinging. Barrios gets the complete game shutout. Twinsies win 7-0. And that gives Minnesota a series victory and Barrios the first shutout of his career. Twin starters have now thrown 21 innings this season and have yet to allow a run. Brian Dozier, though, spoke about Chance Sisco's 9th inning bunt single after the game.
Obviously, we're not a fan of it. He's a young kid, but the thing about it is I could very easily set something at second base, but they have tremendous veteran leadership over there with Chris Davis, Adam Jones, and those guys. So, I'm sure they'll address that, and you move forward. It's all about learning. You learn up here. whether it takes some veterans to talk to you about some stuff or whatever. But that's it.
That was a hot take. Now on Sunday, Garrett Cole took the mound for his first regular season appearance with his new club. We're off to Texas for the highlights when Quick Pitch fires back.
Quick Pitch is presented by Degree Advanced Protection. Stay fresh and dry, even up to 100 degrees.
It's 99-cent kids' nights at Golden Corral. Now kids eat and drink for just 99 cents, under $1. Woo! It's prime time for family time. Come on now, Golden Corral. Your choice, rules.
How to get this yard?
Behind Pete's great-looking yard is his secret weapon, the Scott's Turf Builder program. It's the best way to get the yard you want all year long. Guaranteed. All it takes is 4 feedings with a Scott's solution for every season. And with a customized plan from the Scott's My Lawn app, your yard can look like Pete's.
It's that easy.
This is a Scott's yard. Scott's, the official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. Balanced, nutritious, and delicious. With 22 grams of protein. Savory vegetables, quinoa, cashews. Together in perfect harmony. Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. This is fit.
You don't just drink Budweiser. You clench it. You spray it. You sacrifice it to the foul ball gods. Wherever legendary moments happen, Budweiser will be there.
Domino's, 2 large pepperoni pizzas, please.
Only Domino's lets you earn Piece of the Pie rewards points when you order by phone, online, or when you order in store. We make it easy for you to earn free pizza any way you order.
Cubs, Reds, MLB Network's Monday Afternoon Baseball, live at 4 Eastern.
Where are we taking him?
I have no clue. We're just TV doctors.
If this was a real emergency, I'd be freaking out. But thanks to Cigna, we can do more than just look heroic.
We can help save lives by getting you to a real doctor for a checkup. Nurse, this thing's defective.
Please don't touch that.
We are the TV Doctors of America.
Together with Cigna reminding you
To go, know, and take control of your health.
Doctor poses.
Cigna, together, all the way.
Don't waste your time and money at the chain store. They got the best auto parts. Brake parts, suspension parts, and dealer parts too. The website's so easy to use. The lowest prices and fast delivery too. All the parts your car will ever need. All the savvy folks are buying parts at rockauto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
I'm in heaven.
MLB Network brings you closer to the game with live games, live shows, and live look-ins to every big moment. It's like baseball heaven.
Welcome back to Quick Pitch, presented by Degree. When people talk about the Astros getting even better this offseason, we can look at this splash they made, the addition of Garrett Cole. Houston was the big winner of the Cole sweepstakes, and listen, the man does work, as he started 33 games and pitched over 200 innings with the Pirates last season. And you better believe he's all smiles nowadays, now that he's with the reigning world champs. And it was time to see what he could do.
Today, the much-anticipated Astros debut, the big acquisition in the offseason, Garrett Cole.
So 1 out and nobody on for Joey Gallo.
You look at the outfield for the Astros, and they're back at it again. 4 outfielders against Gallo. He'll shoot this one deep out to left field. Bregman on the run toward the corner. Gone! And Gallo goes the opposite way for a home run. There's still one place you can't shift your defense, and that's the other side of the fence.
Beltre with 4 hits in this series. He is 1 away from Rod Carew, number 25 all-time on the hit list.
There's a little looper out to the first baseman, Marwin, who makes the catch.
Astros with a 4-1 lead over the Rangers, bottom of the 6th inning.
So really the first jam of the day for Garrett Cole. Runners on first and third with 1 out and facing the cleanup hitter Nomar Mazara. On the ground towards Altuve. Flips to Correa. 1, turn, double play. Garrett Cole pumped up with that double play, and the Astros get out of a first and third situation, and the score remains 4-1.
Now Bregman over to third. Altuve on first for Correa, and he belts it.
slicing down the right field line. That's a base hit. Bregman will score. Altuve scores a 2-run double for Carlos Correa. It's 6-1.
Cole so far has allowed 2 hits to the Rangers.
Working here in the 7th. Pretty good line so far with the 8 strikeouts. Make it 9 as he gets Chirinos to start the 7th.
Swing and a miss. 96 on that fastball.
10 strikeouts now for Cole.
He got him. Strikeout number 11. Welcome to the Houston Astros, Garrett Cole.
Punching tickets. And we're through 7 in Arlington. The Astros lead at 7-1.
This is how the bottom of the 7th inning on the strike ended on a strikeout. Here comes Marwin Gonzalez, boots the ball from Gabe Morales and looks at him after he does it. Then you're going to see a conversation over here at first base in which Jerry Mills throws out Marwin Gonzalez. He said something to him and he got tossed, and Carlos Correa stepped in, and Marwin Gonzalez had enough for today.
Houston wins 8-2. Garrett Cole's 11 Ks are the 4th most ever for an Astros debut, and just 1 off of Cole's career high. The defending champs start their season by taking 3 games of their 4-game set against Texas. Emotions and emojis were all over the place for Mariners fans on Saturday. Their boy Nelson Cruz hit a 2-run shot that narrowed the Indians' lead to 1 run. Oh, yes. But then things took an unfortunate turn as he slipped on the bottom step going into the clubhouse. You got that right. That must have hurt, but there was good news. The x-rays were negative, but he was not in the clear yet, as he would have an MRI on Sunday and could miss at least a handful of games. Mr. Cruz had homered twice in his first 6 ABs with 4 RBIs.
As we head to the 4th inning here in Seattle, the Indians have the 1-0 lead.
Here's Encarnacion.
And Encarnacion leans into one, drives it high and deep to left. Home run, Encarnacion. He has been one of the most consistent power threats in baseball. 2-0 Tribe.
Mariners and the Indians all tied at 2. See what the top of the order can do for the Mariners here. It begins with T. Gordon. 2-2. Up and in. That sounded like a kind of piece of him, but maybe it was the nub of the bat, and it was.
It was close to hitting him.
Yeah. Off the knob? No, off the barrel.
Yep.
No matter what, still 2-2.
Deep drive, right field. Chisenhall give it chase. Running out of room. D. Gordon has hit a home run, and the Mariners have a 3-2 lead here in the 7th inning. His first home run as a Mariner. How about that?
That's a junior.
That's Griffey-esque.
They worked together this offseason in Orlando. D. Gordon crosses home plate, leaps in the air, and a skyward high five to Gene Segura. He sticks the landing, and it's 3-2 Mariners.
Mitch Haniger to the plate.
Is Haniger, fly ball, left field deep, got carry, on the track, look it up, bye-bye! Mitch Haniger, a 2-run homer! Hot. Some home run pop today, and this is with no boomstick.
Here in the 8th inning, Tribe batting with 1 out, 1 on. Encarnacion awaiting the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, lifted high, deep to left. This one may never come down. Way out of here. The prodigious and towering 2-run bomb to left. And the Indians are back to within a run. Closer Edwin Diaz has been summoned from the Seattle bullpen. Lead the Indians by a score of 5-4. As we go to the 9th inning, Frankie Lindor bats with 2 outs.
The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss and a slider, strike 3. How sweet it is. And on this Easter Sunday, the Mariners with a 5-4 win.
Yeah, Seattle takes 2 of 3 in the series as Mike Leake improves to 4-1 since being traded to the Mariners in August of last season. Edwin Encarnacion's 2-homer day was the 29th multi-homer game of his career. Coming up, in their first 3 games, the Cubs and Marlins bullpens combined for over 43 innings of work. Could they finally give their pens a break on Sunday? We're off to South Beach next.
Lead off the day with MLB Central, the morning baseball show that says it all.
Grandpa's here to ruin the party.
With a colorful cast of characters all season. All aboard MLB Central, weekday mornings 10 Eastern on MLB Network.
This beer is true to its roots. Brewed only in Golden, Colorado, and nowhere else, ever. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
No
one knows where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't. It's the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
162 games and you want to see them all. Now you can. Only T-Mobile gives you an entire season of MLB TV for free. Stream your team anytime from almost anywhere. Because your stadium should be wherever you make it. Join T-Mobile and get free MLB TV all season.
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, more than 1,000 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Meet the all-new SimpliSafe home security system, engineered with a single focus: to protect. Sensors so small they're practically invisible. Designed to disappear into your home and blanket it with protection. All at prices that are fair and honest. This is SimpliSafe, home security done right.
MLB Tonight has your ticket to opening week. Tomorrow at 7 Eastern on MLB Network.
Don't miss Tuesday triple-header action on MLB Network. It all starts at 1 Eastern with Royals-Tigers, followed by Mariners-Giants. Then at 8, the Orioles hit Houston and the Astros collect their rings. That's a Tuesday triple-header on MLB Network.
We've got extra innings here tonight at Marlins Park.
This has been shutdown baseball. 3 up, 3 down, really all night long.
And Rojas, the base hit, and the Marlins pick up the victory in 17.
Let's go to extras again. Cubs win.
Extra, extra, read all about it, like all about it, all 27 innings. I'm talking about this ridiculous Cubs-Marlins series. Game 2 went 17 innings, which equaled nearly 5.5 hours, followed by their Game 3, which went 10 innings and 4 hours. Those guys have to be exhausted, and by those guys, I'm really looking at the bullpens. The relief corps for both teams have totaled at or around 22 innings of work apiece through those 2 games. Let's see if the pen, though, would get some relief from their starters, Jose Quintana and Dylan Peters, in this Game 4. Here we go, Cubs at Marlins. After Friday's marathon game, Lewis Brinson celebrated by pouring Gatorade on Marlins teammate Miguel Rojas and Marlins TV personality Craig Minervini, but it was Minervini who got the last laugh on April Fool's Day.
This guy, Craig, the TV guy from Fox, he told me like, hey, this is something that you're gonna have to take care of.
It is April Fool's.
He's on camera too.
And here's the cleaners. Unfortunately, guys, I made up that name, so don't call that number. But they said, hey, we can't get the orange stains out.
Minervini is a trip, man. Fake dry cleaning. Good one. We pick it up in the bottom of the 5th. Still no score. Jose Quintana keeping the Marlins hit list through the first 4. Facing Chad Wallach, who hits it right through the right side. Cameron Maben scores an RBI single for him. Marlins lead 1-0. Later in the 5th, Marlins now ahead 2-0. Brian Anderson up with the bases loaded. 2 outs here. Hits it into the gap in right center. 3 runs score. Anderson thrown out, though, trying to stretch that one. The Marlins challenge the out call over there at third base. Take another look at this. Close play. The call in the field is upheld. Anderson is out. Don Mattingly would not be happy. Beep. He talks it over with third base coach Freddie Gonzalez, but the Marlins still go on to win 6-0. So after 2 straight marathon affairs, the Marlins and Cubs finished their series with a crisp 2.5-hour game. Dylan Peters has now made 4 career starts at Marlins Park. 3 of them have been scoreless. Time to find out who is making moves, presented by Degree, and it is Justin Smoke, proving that 2017 power surge we saw, no fluke there. Smoke on Sunday knocked in 6 runs on 2 homers, including the go-ahead grand slam in the 8th in Toronto's win over the Yankees. Still ahead, Dan Plesac and Brian Kenny join the show to break down Shohei Ohtani's Major League pitching debut and a stellar performance from Minnesota's Jose Barrios. And speaking of Barrios, it is time for some quick pitch trivia. Prior to Barrios' shutout on Sunday, when was the last time a pitcher threw a shutout in his team's first series of the season? We have the answer when Quick Pitch returns.
Domino's, 2 large pepperoni pizzas, please.
Only Domino's lets you earn Piece of the Pie rewards points when you order by phone, online, or when you order in store. We make it easy for you to earn free pizza any way you order.
How to get this yard?
Behind Pete's great-looking yard is his secret weapon, the Scott's Turf Builder program. It's the best way to get the yard you want all year long, guaranteed. All it takes is 4 feedings with a Scott's solution for every season. And with a customized plan from the Scott's My Lawn app, your yard can look like Pete's.
It's that easy.
This is a Scott's yard. Scott's, the official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
Guys, how frustrating is it to find a great pair of jeans? They never have the right color, style, or size. Too tight here, too loose there, too long here. I have the perfect solution for you. M. Taylor Custom Jeans. Stop spending hours trying stuff on. Download the free M. Taylor app on iOS or Android. Standard jeans use just 2 measurements. M. Taylor Custom Jeans use 7 different measurements to give you the perfect fit. Design your own custom jeans for just $79. Choose from hundreds of styles. Delivered right to your door. Download the M. Taylor app. M. Taylor measures you digitally and is 20% more accurate than a professional tailor, all from home.
It was so easy to be measured by M. Taylor. It took less than 30 seconds. This is definitely my favorite pair of jeans. They fit perfectly.
To get custom jeans, shirts, or suits, your phone can measure you right now with free shipping and a money-back guarantee at just $79. Get your new favorite pair of jeans today. M. Taylor, available now on the Apple App Store, Android, and mtaylor.com.
Introducing the next revolution from Sam Adams, Sam 76. It took over 60 trials and 13,000 hours to perfect this union of lager and ale, giving you refreshing craft flavor like nothing you've tasted before. Sam 76. Fill your glass.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find that happiness I seek.
MLB Network brings you closer to the game with live games, live shows, and live look-ins to every big moment. It's like, well, it's like baseball heaven.
MLB Network celebrates the start of the new season with 40 live games in April. Catch all the action, all the drama, all month long. Don't miss Cubs, Reds, MLB Network's Monday Afternoon Baseball, live at 4 Eastern.
Red Sox and Rays, Tampa Bay starter Jake Faria warming up before the game. He looked a little wild, but he would settle down. Could his offense stake him to a lead?
Right-hander Hector Velasquez. Here's Brad Miller to open the home half of the second against him.
And he swings and drives one to deep right center field. Betts going back to the warning track, to the wall, and it's gone! Brad Miller picks on the first pitch he sees here in the second inning, and he gives the Rays a 1-0 lead.
Through 2 1/2, it's Rays 1, Boston 0. Swing and a miss.
Hector Velasquez strikes out the side. First and second and 2 out. Tying run in scoring position for Brock Holt.
He pitcher. Swinging a fly ball down the left field line. Giving chase Malik Smith over near the corner. Foul.
Look out, Kenny. Kenny, one of the painters from the Tampa Bay Rays, Kenny Medeiros, was right there along the line. And Down goes Penny. Wait till it's on Intentional Talk tomorrow.
Christian Vasquez, the catcher.
And there's a swing and a ground ball right side. Diving stop by Wendell. From short right, gets up, throws the first, and he got him. Joey Wendell with a run-saving play defensively on the right side of the infield. Takes away an RBI single from Christian Vasquez and keeps this a 1-1 game.
So the most promising inning so far for the Red Sox. First and second, nobody out for Martinez. Line shot, base hit into left field. And Martinez strikes his first RBI with Boston to tie the game at 1.
To the 6th we go, we're tied at 1.
Devers 0 for 3 lifetime with the bases loaded. Base hit into right. Jackie Bradley coming in. Brock Holt trying to score. Gomez checking it home. Here's the tag, and he is going to be out at home plate. Red Sox on top 2-1. So it's Joe Kelly assigned to the role of closer here after Kimbrel worked the first 2. So Smith is aboard with 2 down.
And now here's a Danny Echeverria. Again, the 1-2 runner goes to pitch. Swung out in line to the right center field. That gets down for a hit. And the Rays have runners at the corners with 2 outs. Thursday's hero, Denard Span at the plate.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a breaking ball down and in to win the ball game. Kelly gets his first major league save, and the Red Sox win it 2-1.
They sure did, as the Red Sox earned their 3rd straight 1-run victory to take 3 of 4 in the season-opening series. Rafael Devers has reported an RBI in each of his last 6 games dating back to last season.
We're going to take the bat right out of Donaldson's hand. I'd rather face smoke in this situation.
You don't get those opportunities very often, so when you do, you gotta capitalize.
Get up, ball! Get out of here! Grand slam, home run!
He got him. Strikeout number 11. Welcome to the Houston Astros, Garrett Cole.
He was in total control of the game, and I think he finished even stronger than he started.
And the Marlins shut out the Cubs to take the finale.
Dave Martin has hit a home run, and the Mariners have a 3-2 lead.
I thought I hit it pretty good. So, I mean, if they would have hit the wall, I at least had a double.
The story, Shohei Ohtani with the victory today.
Just the anticipation, the excitement.
Personally, I feel like I got off to a good start.
A brilliant 3-hit shutout for Jose Barrios.
In the 6th, 7th inning, I say, hey, I can't finish the game, so I keep strong and keep focused on it. That's what I did.
There was plenty of stellar pitching throughout the majors on Sunday. Trevor Williams threw 6 hitless innings, while Jose Barrios tossed the first shutout of his career. Over in the AL West, Garrett Cole and Shohei Ohtani impressed in their first starts of the season. And for more notable performances, we check in with Brian Kenny and Dan Plesac.
Kelly, thank you. Several notable performances on a Sunday in baseball, Dan. But come on, Shohei Ohtani, after the spring training he
None
had,
bigger than this guy right here.
Because the spring was dicey, and including can he hit? Can he pitch? He could do neither. Looks like he can pitch.
17 runs in 13 innings in the Cactus League, but he was so good in his debut. One little patch, he gave up a 3-run homer. But, boy, you're talking about what you'd want to see if you were watching this guy. Smooth and great velocity. 96 miles an hour. It gets better. 98 miles an hour. And watch this one right here. Smooth, under control, 100 miles an hour. His breaking ball here, these aren't 2 particularly good ones right here. He gets a swing and miss on a breaking ball here that was up in the strike zone, but he corrected that as the game went on. His split finger reminded me a lot of Tanaka of the Yankees. Almost unhittable, great arm speed in late life, and the ball really diving out of the strike zone. You can't even sit on that pitch to hit it. The one mistake right here, kind of spins a hard curveball that's 83 miles an hour, hit out for a 3-run homer, the only blemish. But what was impressive to me, he finished off in the 6th inning, a really good hard split finger, followed up with a nice hard tight slider right here, and he gets the last out of the 6th inning, gets Chris Davis to pop up. 6 innings, 3 runs, all courtesy of the Chapman 3-run home run. As advertised, I thought it was a rock-solid outing. He showed velocity, he showed the split finger, and he showed the slider. Very impressive.
Showed poise. too.
Very much
He was
so.
very calm out there. He was very under control. And there used to be something for you younger fans out there. We used to call it a shutout. You didn't have to say complete game shutout. That was redundant. You actually went 9, gave up no runs. We actually saw one, Jose Barrios.
Listen, I think he's going to be the breakout pitcher of 2018. Really picked it up the second half of the season. I thought he was a little tired in the month of September last year. Called back up, had some stints at AAA and called back up, but he was good. 9th inning, right? Nobody on. The shift is on. A leadoff bunt base hit followed by a walk to Chris Davis. And you're starting to wonder, what is Paul Maurer going to do? 1 out, 1st and 2nd. He decides to leave him in. Manny Machado, this fastball gets in on him, but he muzzles it for a base hit. Bases loaded, 1 out. What are they going to do? They decide he has a meeting in the mound with his pitching coach. Double barrel action up into the bullpen. Jams Jonathan Scope here, gets an infield pop-up. And all of a sudden, he's 1 out away from a complete game. Nasty breaking ball right here. But what set up that breaking ball, there were a couple of fastballs earlier in that bat to Adam Jones that were 95 running in on his hands. Complete game. He was unbelievable. I think he's going to be the breakout starter of 2018.
With the Twins rotation looking up, too.
Look out. They're a good team.
Could be a good club. Kelly, back to you.
Thanks, guys. That leads us to our quick pitch trivia question. Prior to Barrios, when was the last time a pitcher threw a shutout in his team's first series of the season? The answer is Clayton Kershaw back in 2013 against the San Francisco Giants, who ironically the Dodgers were hosting on Sunday.
The 38-year-old southpaw Rich Hill is in the midst of a career renaissance, coming off a 12-8 regular season last year. We are underway in L.A. on Easter Sunday. And he chased a strikeout for Hill, begins the night. Your first inning could be rocky. So this is uncharted territory for him as McCutchen swats a ground ball to short. Seager to Hernandez, back to Bellinger. No trouble in the first inning tonight. I mean, it's got to be driving Bruce Bochy nuts. He's looking for one player to cash in with a knock with runners on. And once again, Rich Hill pitches out of it. Middle of the 4th, still scoreless in L.A.
Now the 0-2, Bellinger. With a fly ball into left center field. Camped underneath it is Pence.
Tagging up is Seager. The throw is cut off, and now they've got Puig in a run down. And Puig is safe, and the run scores. It tried to get Puig to end the inning. Nobody paid attention to Corey Seager, who almost jogged to score that run. Pence with the drive out to right that Puig makes the play on, and despite the leadoff double, the Giants are kept off the scoreboard again. So one gone with Taylor remaining at second now for Yasiel Puig, who has singled and struck out tonight. Puig sends the ball into the gap. That'll cash in Taylor.
Puig on his way to second base with a stand-up double, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead.
Puig is dying to run, and I would not be surprised if in the next 3 pitches, well, he's going to run anyways.
Yeah, he will run unencumbered for the plate, as on the very first pitch of the at-bat, Yasmani Grandal makes it a 3-0 game. So now Cody Bellinger still looking for his first hit of 2018. He might have just found it to the opposite field. And gone!
2-run shot for Cody Bellinger, his first of the year. And the Dodgers now lead 5-0.
LA wins 1-0. The Giants get shut out for the 2nd straight night and have still scored just 2 total runs through 4 games this season. Rich Hill improves to 4-1 with a 1.40 ERA against the Giants since joining the Dodgers in August of 2016. Coming up, Trevor Williams enjoyed one of the best starts of his career when he allowed only 1 hit to the Tigers last year. On Sunday, he allowed none. But could his bullpen finish off the job? We're off to Detroit after the break.
Baseball's drive to our today with MLB Central, the morning baseball show that says it all.
Grandpa's here to ruin the party.
With a colorful cast of characters all season. All aboard MLB Central, weekday mornings 10 Eastern on MLB Network.
Castellanos going to try and score. Throw to the plate. Tied. Save. And the Tigers win an opening day. They're going to replay this one.
Yeah.
Oh, they called it can't believe this. Gardy's been kicked out. Well, you knew that was going to happen.
So we are going into the 13th. Gregory Polanco! How about a cup of coffee on a cold opening day in Detroit? He needs some milk. Rays, the Jolly Roger, what a start to 2018.
It was a debatable call, one that had Tigers fans booing and their new manager, Ron Gardenhire, kicking. Just dirt, of course, as a replay overturned a Tigers walk-off win. So can you really blame him? And he says his first dirt-kicking ejection with the Tigers was worth it, along with several other incredible Gardy quotes post-game like this one. Quote, "What I want to know is if there's any manager that's ever been thrown out of 162 straight games, because I have a chance. I don't know how many other people have that opportunity." End quote. Always keeping it spicy, that guy. And he would have a chance to get ejected twice on Sunday if he really wanted to, as the Tigers hosted the Pirates for a doubleheader. Let's start with game one, though, shall we? Top of the first, no score. Gregory Polanco up with a man on first. And he doubles down the left field line. Adam Frazier, he's got them wheels. Scores all the way from first. Polanco, though, thrown out trying to get to third there. Still, though, Pirates take an early 1-0 lead. Thanks to him. Let's talk Pirates pitching now, though, shall we? Trevor Williams getting the start on Sunday. You might remember his first major league win last year in September against the Cardinals when he shared an emotional embrace with his family, including his proud father, Richard, who was diagnosed with, get this, stage 4 cancer, was given 60 to 90 days to live back in 2015. But he is in remission right now. So great to hear. That guy comes from an amazing, amazing family, and Papa Richard will be back in attendance on Sunday. In the first here, his son facing Miguel Cabrera with a man on first and one out. He gets Cabrera to ground into the 6-4-3 double play to end that inning. A pitcher's bestie right there. Strong start, though, for Williams. Bottom of the sixth, same score. Trevor Williams pitching out of his mind. 2 outs facing Jeimer Candelario here. And Candelario would hit a slow roller right back to him. He throws to first for out number 3. And you know Pops is loving that. What a game for him to experience. No hits for Williams through 6. However, that would be the end of the day for him after 85 pitches, getting hugs there from Francisco Cervelli for a job well done. I'm sure even bigger ones coming from Dad later after hurling 6 no-hit innings. Bottom of the 7th, Michael Feliz on in relief of Williams, looking for the combined no-no, though, facing Nick Castellanos, who doubles to left. No-hitter over for the Pirates, but man, what a day for Trevor Williams. Gotta believe that man is still on cloud 9. To the bottom of the 9th, same score. Pirates closer Felipe Rivero in, trying to secure the win here. He strikes out. Victor Martinez swinging. Pirates win this one 1-0. Moving on here to game 2. 2-0 Tigers here. Man on for Josh Harrison in the 3rd. He hits one deep to left off the wall. Harrison with a double. Take another look. Looks like that might be a home run, and upon further review, it is. 2-run shot for Harrison. Ties this game at 2. Later in the inning, it's a Marte Parte. Yeah, no review needed for that bomb. 3-2 Pirates. Top of the 5th, now 4-3. Harrison at 3rd. Ball in the dirt, and in he comes to score. That puts Pittsburgh on top 5-3. Check out Harrison getting dirty there. Gonna have to wash that bad boy. Yeah, dirt in his beard as well. Gross. Later in the inning, now 6-3. Man on for David Freese. Deep and gone. 2-run shot there. Stretching that lead. 8-3 now. Bottom 6, Miguel Cabrera facing Chad Kuhl. Now, earlier in the 3rd, Cabrera fouled off a Kuhl pitch, then tells him, nice pitch. The next pitch, Kuhl struck him out looking. Back to the 6th, Cabrera kicks Kuhl deep to right and gone. Cabrera winning that battle, that's for sure. Tigers trail 8-4. Bottom of the 9th. The score was 8-6 now. Tying run at the plate. Felipe Rivero gets Nick Goodrum to fly out to end it. Pirates win 8-6. And the Pirates sweep the doubleheader and the 3-game series in Detroit. Felipe Rivero got the save in both games on Sunday, finishing his day with 5 strikeouts and 2 innings of work. Still ahead, the Easter Bunny paid a visit to Great American Ballpark on Sunday, but who is the man behind the mask? We'll let you know after the break.
Quick Pitch is presented by Degree Advanced Protection. Stay fresh and dry, even up to 100 degrees. heads toward the metro area.
Go, 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 go! We can fit more! But there's still more room!
We gotta go.
Juicer!
We don't have a juicer! The Volkswagen Tiguan. It fits everything you need and everything you don't.
How to get this yard?
Behind Pete's great-looking yard is his secret weapon, the Scott's Turf Builder program. It's the best way to get the yard you want all year long. Guaranteed. All it takes is 4 feedings with a Scott's solution for every season. And with a customized plan from the Scott's My Lawn app, your yard can look like Pete's.
It's that easy.
This is a Scott's yard. Scott's, the official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
This is Emma. She has a dog and a pig. Together they are agents of chaos to floors in every room. But Emma's home has life-proof vinyl plank flooring and pet-proof carpet from the Home Depot. Scratch-resistant and stain-resistant for the expected and the unexpected. 100% life-proof, 0% worry. Get free installation on any carpet $699 or more. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Cubs, Reds, MLB Network's Monday Afternoon Baseball, live at 4 Eastern.
When you upgrade your Wi-Fi to Eero, all your connected devices can finally work the way you want them to. Eeros replace your router, forming a wireless mesh network that blankets your home in fast, reliable Wi-Fi. With Eero, you'll have no more dead spots, slow spots, drop-offs, or buffering. It's Wi-Fi so good, you'll never think about Wi-Fi again. Upgrade your home with Eero today.
Poker in the USA is back with americascardroom.net. Play poker and practice your skills for free with exciting ring games, tournaments, knockout tournaments, double or nothing sit-and-goes, and so much more. America's Card Room. The next big thing is already here. Join now.
MLB Network celebrates the start of the new season with 40 live games in April. Catch all the action, all the drama, all month long. Don't miss Cubs, Reds, MLB Network's Monday Afternoon Baseball, live at 4 Eastern.
Welcome to Quick Pitch, presented by Degree. The Mets trying to complete the series sweep of the Cardinals. Steven Matz making his season debut. In the first, he strikes out Dexter Fowler and Marcell Ozuna. Could he keep it up against St. Louis?
Now Paul DeJong playing in his 111th Major League game. The pitch. DeJong swings and hits one deep to left. This is going to leave the yard. It's a gunner off the facing of the second level. 1-0 Cardinals.
2-out RBI chance for Ahmed Rosario. Sharply toward the hole. That's a base hit. Plawecki around third. He'll come home with the tying run. Ahmed Rosario with a 2-out RBI hit. And the Mets get even at 1.
0-2. Here it comes to Ozuna. Swing and a long one into the left field corner. And it's fair. And it's down and it's off the wall. Pham's going to score. Ozuna headed towards second base. He's safe on a good throw from the left fielder, and Ozuna has given the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. And Yadier Molina will lead off for St. Louis in the 4th inning. Hard hit left center field. Back goes the center fielder to the track, to the wall. It's gone. Home run, Yadier Molina.
Well, Molina hadn't homered in Queens in 12 years until opening day. And now he's done it twice in this series.
And the second home run today by the Cardinals, and they have a 3-1 lead. Runners at first and second. And a base hit into left field. Pham being waved in. Cespedes, his throw offline. Marcell Ozuna is driven in 2. And it's 4-1 Cardinals.
Paul DeJong is 1 for 2. A home run, a walk, and a strikeout.
DeJong drives another one to deep left field. Cespedes back, and it's out of here. DeJong has his second home run of the day. And Paul DeJong, who tormented the Mets in St. Louis last year, having himself a day.
Sure did. St. Louis wins 5-1. The Cardinals salvaged the series finale as they earn their first win of the season. Paul DeJong has now homered in 5 of the 10 career games he has played against the Mets. The Reds celebrated Easter with their families prior to their game on Sunday. And Cincy's second baseman Scooter Gennett took it to a whole nother level when dressing up as an Easter bunny in a costume he bought online. And of course, it was a huge hit with all the players' children, right? Well, not exactly. According to this tweet and video from Cliff Pennington, everybody loves Scooter Gennett in the Easter bunny outfit except for his daughter. Great stuff. Nationals and Reds' Adam Eaton has been off to a strong start this season, including a 5-for-5 game Saturday. He would single to lead off the game, giving him hits in 6 straight plate appearances and bringing Anthony Rendon to the plate.
Rendon to left. See you later. Didn't get it in far enough, did he? Anthony's first of the year. The Nats have 2.
Straightaway center field by Scooter Gennett. And that ball is up against the wall, and Scooter continues his hot start. That's his 7th hit already this year. He's in with a double.
Well, the way he's seeing the ball right now, he could probably hit in that Easter bunny outfit that he was wearing.
Strong do-ups here, 3, 4, 5. He launches one to right. Schebler back. See you later. Halfway up the bleachers. Bryce's first of the year, career number 151. It's 3-0.
That was a bomb.
Brilliance by Gio Gonzalez.
A nice job of keeping the ball down, whether it's been his changeup, his two-seam fastball, or his curve.
Gio, a great afternoon.
Nationals 3, Reds 1. Top of the 7th, 1 out. Here's Adam Eaton.
Adam Eaton to right. And see you later. Who's your player of the weekend in the National League? Adam Eaton's second hit today, second home run.
And he points at his family once more right behind the Nationals dugout. There they are.
And now the base is loaded. A big mess to clean up for Ryan Manson.
Busted bat. Rendon to Defoe, and they got 2. Gladly trading a run for 2 outs. Bryce Harper 1 for 3 homer and a walk today. Bryce Harper high in the air, deep center. See you later.
Did you hear the guy right before the pitch in the stand say overrated?
Overrate this. That's what Bryce Harper does with fastballs right down the middle.
Yeah, he's a lot of things, but not that. Washington wins 6-5. The Nats win their 3rd straight to open the season as Adam Eaton stays red hot. The Ohio native recorded a total of 8 hits and 5 RBIs in the 3-game set in Cincy. Time now for the Capital One Premier Plays from Sunday.
Baez rips one to right field and lay it out.
Yes,
is
sir.
Cameron Maybin for the catch.
A wonderful running, diving catch by Cameron Maybin.
Through the hole on the right side of base hit, charging his Judge. He comes up throwing. Here's Martin. Here's the play at the plate. He's out.
No mistakes along the way. You got to get it, get rid of it, get it right on the money.
Swing and a liner toward the gap in left center. On the run is D. Gordon, the center fielder. Falls down on his knees, makes the sliding knee-high catch. What a play.
And there's a swing and a ground ball right side. Diving stop by Wendell. From short right gets up. Throws the first and he got him. Joey Wendell with a run-saving play.
And that is whistled at first. What a play there by Cabrera. Line drive leaning to his left. Miggy comes up with a nice play.
Capital One Premier Plays are presented by the Capital One Saver Card, the next big thing in food.